What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 245. I am your host, Tony Polanco, even though Adam's on the screen. And tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Yo, man, two folks on video.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
What up, what up, what up?
Brian Munjoma.
Yo.
And, of course, the lovely Adam Vale.
Have a good weekend, people.
We're out for tonight, son. Peace.
I said peace.
We're going home, man. Oh, man. How's everybody doing this weekend, man? Crazy ass weekend, but we're not talking about all that drama that happened. Shit. Yeah. You know, we could talk about Evo, though.
Yo, man, they showed off your boy E Honda and two characters from Final Fight.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Poison and Lucia.
Did you,
what's up?
Dragon Ball Z Fighters, where they put Janemba.
Oh, they did? Nice.
They got Janemba now.
The muscly one or the stupid one?
The muscly one, not the stupid. He turns from the stupid one to the muscly one, like he does in the movie.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so we're gonna wait a little bit for some questions. What's going on, people? Actually, we got plenty of questions this week, man. No bread action, so we'll probably be done in about an hour.
Yo, man, you get your some bloodstained you're playing in there.
Yeah, right.
Shout out to Techno Fabulous. His son was at Evo playing Mortal Kombat, so
yeah,
he did pretty decent for considering all the freaking people that were playing.
A couple of people I know were over there. One of my coworkers is over there, and my friend Jimmy was over there.
Our boy Jeffrey, Jimmy? Yeah, I remember. Our boy Jeffrey was there. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Techno Fabulous, his son, he was playing Mortal Kombat 11. There were I'll just do the numbers: 1,577 participants. Right?
Damn.
He came in 97. That's fucking amazing, you know?
Yeah, just considering like all these people that are dedicating themselves to go to fucking Vegas to play this tournament, and you placed better than most of them. That's pretty impressive.
Did they say
his first time out?
How many matches they had to compete in?
Oh, I don't know about that. You know,
like how many times did he have to play?
Actually, that's a good way to fluff up some time. Let's talk about Evo. Obviously, I can't talk about the participants because, I don't watch that stuff like that. But I did see the announcements. By the way, Tekken, I got no problem with Tekken, but I got a problem with Tekken right now, man.
So what's going on, man?
How you gonna tease Solid Snake and not have him in the game, man? So what happened is they had a codec conversation between Harada, the Tekken producer, and Solid Snake. So we're like, oh shit. Let's fucking go. Because obviously Tekken, they've had a bunch of cameo stuff, but instead they announced two new characters. I don't know Tekken, by the way, people, so I don't know if these characters are returning or if they're new. No clue. One of the new guys they got, I think his name is Leroy. He looks like the black dude with the tiger from The Walking Dead, I don't know.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, he looks like Ezekiel,
Are you sure? Was it Eddie Goro or whatever?
No, his name is Leroy.
Okay. I don't remember Leroy.
Yeah, and then some new woman. I don't know what her name is.
She's not new. She was in Tekken 6, I believe.
Okay.
Yo, man, they don't put what fucking Tiger in there.
Yeah, they should.
The disco guy.
So that happened, and then there's going to be for Soul Calibur 6. They're going to have Haomaru from Samurai Shodown, which makes perfect sense. You think about it,
cool.
Does
he look like he's in the style of Soul Calibur, or did they make him like cartoony? They didn't show and everything?
They didn't show him in the game. They just had a little intro for him. That's about it. Now, okay, are you getting confused if you have Haomaru versus what's his face?
Mitsurugi,
because they look the same.
Well, no, I mean Haomaru has way more hair, so maybe they'll do that whole thing. But he's still got to fit the aesthetic of Soul Calibur, right?
Yeah, I guess you just have to get rid of the the ink lines or whatever.
Because the brush strokes. The one thing about like compared to like Tekken character, I mean like Soul Calibur characters compared to like the kind of stylized games is that a lot of stylized games like Samurai Shodown have like exaggerated proportions.
Yeah.
So like Hamaru in that game has like big hands and big feet and stuff like that, kind of like the way the Street Fighters do. So if anything, they're gonna have to kind of take him down a little bit, kind of like the way they did it with the Akuma and Geese, where they kind of made them look still fit in the Tekken universe.
Yeah, so they have to make them proportional, more or less.
Pretty much more proportional, because like for 3D fighting games, the tells are a lot different than they are for like those sorts of like 2D fighters.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. All right, man, let's get to some questions. So first up, we have Ronan. So his first question is, what's the next major development in game controllers? Wireless controllers and rumble features were pretty big, so what's next? And do you think Nintendo's experiments in design have contributed to controller evolution across the industry? Interesting. Two-part question. Well, I mean, they did this. The Super Nintendo is kind of like the base of modern Nintendo controllers.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, if you go back, the Nintendo controller was the first like modern kind of controller. Before that was like joysticks and shit with the Atari. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Nintendo definitely innovated with the Nintendo controller, Super Nintendo controller. After that, actually, no, hold on. You know what? Even the fucking N64 controller, which I hate, had rumble. So that was an innovation too.
The first one to have rumble?
It was, and it had an analog stick. So that's innovative as well. Got to give it proper due there.
Mm-hmm. Even though it didn't come with rumble.
No, it didn't. You had to buy the
rumble pack.
Yeah, man. I think we kind of talked about this before a long time ago. We could always talk about it. Like, what do you think is the next major development in game controllers?
I don't know. I mean,
motion controls.
Sony was testing out the whole friggin', with the touch pads and stuff like that, but it kind of didn't catch on, to be honest.
I think one kind of stealth innovation that we've seen is the paddles, the back paddles. A lot of like specialty controllers doing that, and I think it's really cool. I don't know if it'll catch on, but it would be nice if the next controllers had that, just to give you the options. But I don't know if that's going to stick or not.
I would say headphone jacks, but fucking 3DO did that shit first.
Oh,
I think programming your buttons.
Yeah,
programming all your buttons.
Is also a little bit of an old one too.
It is,
and changing the sensitivity of your sticks and stuff.
Well, the Elite controller do that? The Xbox?
It did, it did.
Yeah, and the 8-bito does it now.
Oh, really? Yeah, the sensitivity.
Yeah, you can change sensitivity for the sticks and do all the buttons and change everything up.
It's interesting about controllers because controllers have like progressively gotten more and more complicated over the years. Although I would say they kind of standardized in like the early 2000s. 2 thumbsticks, 4 face buttons, 2 shoulder buttons, and then like 2 or maybe 3 buttons in the middle for start and select or whatever. Controller design hasn't changed too much in like 20 years.
I feel like the biggest change was when Xbox moved the left thumbstick up.
Yeah, that's right.
When they split up, it was like, the offset was like, yo, what's that? And then people were like, yeah, I guess I can get used to that.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's my answer. The paddles, I think that's going to be, but I don't know if it's going to be an innovation, but that's something new that they could add that would be cool. What about the rest of you guys? Big innovations in controllers. Going once, going twice.
I don't know. I mean, I agree with you on the one thing where it's like the idea of a Elite controller, but I mean, I don't know what else you can do to a controller where you can make, that would be more of an innovation. I mean,
a cooling system. I know they've had attachments. They've had attachments and stuff that you can do.
Wait, to cool the controller?
What?
Well, it would blow cold air out into your hand, so your hand don't get all clammy.
Okay, interesting.
So they had it into the grips. So if they could have something that's just there and there's a little button and you click on and it'll turn on and blow some cold air, and then when you're done, you just click the button and turn it off. That'd be cool.
Yo, Adam, I was going to ask you, like, what kind of graphics you run into that controller you need to cool it? What the fuck? Oh, man.
It's getting hot.
I'm using my controller for other things, man. Oh, man. All right, let's move on here. What's up, Ben? Go ahead, Ben.
I think, but I don't know. It's a screen, maybe, but then it's like, well, then what's the difference between a handheld then? Because like how the Wii U did it, and the PlayStation 4 one has a touchpad. I'm thinking maybe like, what if they do like a screen, kind of do like a 3DS kind of thing.
I don't know. Dreamcast had that little screen with a game in it. Remember that little add-on thing?
The VMU.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell because controllers don't really change that much, and if they do drastically change, then they're susceptible to a lot of criticism because people don't like change, especially with controllers.
That's your portal into the game. You know, you need that to interact. And if that sucks, then you can't interact with the game, and the game you don't want to play.
Yeah.
But by the way, how about this, man? The new innovative controller, man, Project Natal.
Oh shit! Let's go. Yo, what about the Steam controller though?
Oh, what happened to that?
Yeah, exactly. What happened?
Yeah,
to
exactly.
It was garbage. That's what it was.
It's just everything being touched. That's just
Hey, listen, you got to give him props for trying though.
Yeah,
I give him props for trying, but at the same time, I feel like that's already too foreign from whatever they were going to do. You know, there is a like. We didn't know what the latency on something like that was. All the stuff that happens with that. Usually, when it comes to controllers, you kind of want that sort of feedback. You know, that's why they make those arcade sticks. They have the clicking ability on them, or whenever on the controls they have those direct directions of which way you're going. You know what I mean? They give you that little bit of a feedback to kind of feel what you're doing because it just doesn't. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just don't think current controllers, there's any more innovation you could do with the current model. Mm-hmm. Somebody would have to come up with either something radically different. Because think about it, we still use mice for and keyboards for our computer, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like even if you split the keyboard for ergonomics or whatever, it's the same shit that we've been using for like 40 years.
Yeah.
So controllers have everything you need. Like they added analog sticks or whatever, has buttons, a D-pad, triggers now, and all this stuff. But like fundamentally, there's nothing else to add to it to enhance the experience.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, yeah, fundamentally, yeah, I completely agree with that.
What does the Stadia have? That controller.
It looks like a fucking.
No, I know it looks like it, but does it have any new functions?
I don't think so.
Like that we don't.
I don't think so. I think it's just a standard ass controller. Like you guys said, people are just used to it. They don't want that shit to change. Yeah, Brian, what's your take, man?
I think that we've just reached a point where there's not really much controller can do differently. To be fair, because I'm just trying to think about it, and for the most part, controllers can't really change that much because there's just already so much stuff on it. And I pretty much agree with what Tony said, which is that the next thing that they can do, it has to be done on the back, because on the front there's already way too much stuff. And this is why I said that the PS4 touchpad thing was going to be useless, because it's already way too overcrowded there. Stuff like you only have so many fingers at the front to touch stuff with, whereas at the back there's nothing there.
Yeah, like you have like potentially how many fingers back there? Like 6,
I got a lot of fingers.
Yeah. 4 fingers, so you can put like 2 paddles.
4 fingers,
or 4 paddles at the back, and you'd be great. But no, Sony decided to put the touch thing at the front. Even though that Vita had touch things at the back, which makes even less sense.
Yeah, and then let's just be honest, Brian, you and I talked about this before. What is the touchpad on the PlayStation? It's a glorified giant select button now.
Exactly. It still just boggles my mind. It's like you had it right with the Vita, where it has the touch thing at the back. Yet the PS4 controller, like, no, put the touch thing at the front. Like, no, at the back.
I'm really surprised.
The one thing about the back one is that the having the at least for the flat surface of the Vita, everybody was always constantly touching that stupid thing by accident.
Yeah, I mean, they should give you an option to disable it or whatever,
I was just really surprised that they never did a redesign. Like when we found out we were going to get the Pro, and people were like, oh, they're going to make some changes to the controller and this and this and that. Shit, man, I thought they were going to make it smaller, or get rid of the light altogether, or do something, an option to actually turn it off. I just don't get why you just can't turn this shit off.
Yeah, that's dumb. Oh, by the way, Adam, Liquid says that the PC had a control called the Airflow controller That clears your hands. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I remember that, and I was like, just bring something like that back and make it standard, because that was pretty cool. Because I remember there was a third-party one that I had, and it had like little ridges on the side, and I did press a button and would like, and then it would just cool off your hand, and then you could turn it off and on. I mean, that's a little something,
Yeah, so that's cool. All right, man, let's move on. We still got questions here. All right, next up, Johnny W. Uppercut, man. He goes, hello, Throwdown. Hello, Johnny.
Hello, Johnny.
So his first question is, have you guys watched Yang Ye of a CEO, I guess Yang Ye's video of a CEO breaking down how to trick players into mass spending through microtransactions? I have not seen this video, Manny.
No, I haven't. I haven't been watching Yang Ye's videos as of late.
Here's the thing about this. Manny, you and I can't talk about this. At our first E3, we had lunch. I'm not going to say any names, but we had lunch with a former Capcom guy, and he broke down how that shit works. This is 2013, by the way.
2013.
And it still applies. He basically said when you're playing a game like Candy Crush, right, what they do is when you first get the game, mad easy. They give you a bunch of free shit, right? And then it steadily gets harder and harder and harder, right? You get frustrated. And if you keep at it, it'll eventually get easier, right? But if you don't want to deal with that bullshit, you could pay. And the instant you pay, everything gets easy for a while, right? So you're like, yeah, I feel good. So it gradually gets harder again. Then you pay again. It gets easy. And you like that feeling, So they said that the trick is, remember that, man? He said the trick is balancing how difficult do you get it to get people to pay, but not frustrating them to the point where they won't pay, And he said that's like the biggest thing.
That's actually the thing about it is that it's also just deployed from regular games. I mean, games nowadays, they don't actually say that they get easier, but they actually do.
Yeah.
A big well-known one is the digital director from the Resident Evil games, right? Where it's what essentially is watching what you're doing, and it kind of adds things or takes away things. And one good example is in Resident Evil 4, where you walk in the room with all those. There's like a room filled with those Ganados in the hoods, right? So let's say you died in that room a few times. You notice that there's less and less enemies in the room, and they become less aggressive to kind of give you that feeling to kind of get like, man, I finally got past that part. But really, it's slowed down the enemies and made them a little easier so that you could get through. So like for speedrunners, people have been actually using that to the advantage of to get through the game, like knowing that if they were die at some point, they would actually make a section easier so they can get through it faster.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's how it works. And yeah, so these guys are always up to tricks and stuff. Again, I can't speak to the fucking, what the hell? Now Brett's asking for a link. I thought you weren't available, motherfucker.
Yeah, man. What's Brett doing? Watching TV.
He said he wants to jump on.
So yeah, so like these, yeah, like definitely with like these not CEOs, but those people, like they're like, how can we get more money out of people using these sorts of essentially mental tricks? What they're using is essentially using our own addictive nature against us to do these sorts of things. And obviously, from some people, it works a lot more than others. There are people that have addictive personalities, and they will instantly just make these sorts of decisions. I mean, it's a weird sort of situation because it's like, on the one hand, you're taking advantage of people, but on the other hand, yeah, it's like it seems so shitty,
Yeah, but it's always been done that way, even in casinos.
Yeah, exactly. You're like casinos or like you're even the friggin' guy who's playing the cup game on the corner of the street. They're fucking with your brain.
Yeah.
Those machines where you pick up the toys. And
no, those are straight up. Those they can't fixed any other way because it's a little knob in the bottom that they have to turn to loosen one of the hooks. So in order for them to even try to make it tighter, they have to get you away from the machine so they can physically modify it. A lot of the digital ones that are in the casinos, and they always tell you, if you're going to work on one of the digital ones, stick with it, even if you're like, damn, I keep losing, because it remembers and it times it. So if it knows that you keep pulling, it's automatically thinking you're the same person. So then after 3 or 4 times, if it knows you're not hitting, it will give you a little something to keep you playing.
Because like what I understood, like for example, slot machines, they're not randomized. They're programmed to output a certain percentage of the time, like winnings. So it's like a lot of these things aren't even random. They're just programmed to, shoot shit out.
Yeah.
Small percentages.
Yeah, they keep you there for a little while longer, and then that's it. That's why the usual thing is like, we'll see like a person has been kind of playing in a section. And they notice that you see that somebody wins on a specific machine. Never go to that machine after that person has won, because they've already run through all the at least a lot of the projected odds.
Or when you're hot, like you're winning money, it's like, get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah, pull out, because that's it. It's gonna stop paying.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But it's. Our society is built on somebody fucking somebody else over in some way. It seems to happen that way, whether it be, countries or even just person to person. Somebody's fucking over somebody to get somewhere else, which sucks.
That's human society in general, man. That's how we're here, man. Somebody has to get fucked over. That's just how it is.
There's a whole generation of humans that are totally gone from this planet for one reason, because one version of them decided to fuck them over.
Yeah. What's going on, Brett?
I walked in at the weirdest time.
Yes, you did, man. Yeah, so you feel good now, man? Yeah, Brett needed to take a nap, but he's like, I got a second win now, bitch.
Woo, man, I've been working I got up at 4 a.m. Like, you ever work so hard like time becomes irrelevant? I know Manny's been there, where you just be like, I am so tired, fuck it, I'm gonna take a nap. And then you sleep and you're like, fuck it, that's 6 hours sleep, that counts as a night's sleep. It's 4 a.m. I guess it's time to work again.
You know what it is? I've actually done that, like a 2-hour nap. I'm like, man, I've pulled all these hours. I take a 2 hour after I'm like, yes, I'm like Popeye, I got me some power, 2 hours of sleep. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what time it is anymore. You just work until you're exhausted, and you're like, I need like 4 to 6 hours to like eat and sleep, and then whenever you wake back up again, that's when it is. So you're like, I guess I'm working at 2, I guess I'm working at 8 p.m, I guess I'm working at 4 a.m.
Yep.
Like I woke up at 4 a.m. I was like, is it night or is it day?
It is both.
Yeah, I was like, I can't tell you if I woke up in the middle of the night, if I woke up really early in the morning.
Oh man. By the way, that's partly why if I can, I don't nap. Because, like, let's say I'm really sleepy, I'll take a nap like at 3, right? Wake up at 5. I'm like, why isn't it the next day? What the hell's going on? You know?
Dude, I try to avoid it too, but when you get to that point where you're like, I've worked 23 hours.
No, you need to, yeah.
I just need a certain amount of sleep, and then I can work 16 more.
Jesus.
Yeah, sometimes it's just that's just the way you do it, man. You gotta listen.
Yo, man, power nap.
Take a little power nap and then continue. I've done that like multiple times, where it's like sometimes I like, especially when going to work or whatever like that. I got to go to work in the day, man. I'll take a nap on the bus, and then
the thing is, like, there's a fine line between power nap and just bad sleep.
Well, no. See, that's the thing. It bleeds together. Like, and that's what happened to me. Like, I intended to take up last night. I was like, all right, I'm gonna set my alarm for like about 100 minutes, so I have 10 minutes to get to sleep, and then 1 full REM cycle. And like, I just slept until like fucking 11:30, 12, and I was like, fuck it, I'm halfway through, may as well keep sleeping. And so I slept, and I set my alarm for like 6 hours after I went. Like, I was like, okay, so if I get 6 hours of sleep, and I just set my alarm, and I just hit it for 4 a.m. I was like, okay, 4 a.m. is when we start working. That's what we get for falling asleep at like what was it, 11 o'clock at night?
Damn. Anyway, man, I'm glad you're here. So let us move on. Question number 2. Did you guys think the leak the leaked gameplay video from Comic-Con of the Avengers game make the game have more or less excitement around it?
There was a leak.
I have no idea. Apparently, they fixed what's her face's face. Black Widow. Remember, everybody's complaining about that she looked all ugly. Apparently, they fixed
a lot of them looked like generic. Like everybody on that whole Marvel thing looked like they were like generic versions of the movie versions.
Yeah, it's like, yo, at least make them look like the comics. Jesus.
Yeah, like why do we even need to go down the road of making it not Chris Evans? Why don't we just make it some other guy?
Yeah,
it's like, oh, hey, it kind of looks like Chris Evans, or kind of like. Maybe like what they did with Spider-Man, right? Where they essentially took all the different Spider-Man and combined them into one for the game. Where he kind of looks like Tobey Maguire and he kind of looks like the other two.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
I mean, that's probably the best way to do it. But I don't care either way.
Oh, you're getting robot, Brett.
What is that game? I haven't even seen anything for that game.
Yeah, I can't comment.
All I remember seeing is that silly CGI trailer. I'm like, okay, another CGI trailer. Who cares?
Yeah, apparently there was leaked footage. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment. I guess the rest of us haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I never.
Yo, man, cares that much.
Yo, man, if it doesn't look like Total Eclipse, then I want to see it.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on. Ronan again. Again, remember, I'm just reading these raw. And that's that.
Raw.
Are you just raw dogging it tonight?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So again, Brett, because I forgot to formulate the question, so I'm just reading them straight from Discord. So just like the last question.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So yeah, I may say things. Anyway, which game do you believe has the most hardcore creator fan base? Minecraft, Super Mario Maker, Fallout, or another game? Interesting question. Minecraft, because.
Wait a minute. When they say maker, do they mean like community maker, or like following the creator of the game?
No, like a maker game, like Minecraft. He gave you the examples: Minecraft, Super Mario, Fallout. A game that makes you make. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, a creative game. Yeah.
Mod Nation Races.
Yeah,
Minecraft's a granddaddy, and it's still one of the best.
Yeah, the scope alone of Minecraft justifies that answer, because it's just so fucking huge, those worlds. Like I've seen like walkthroughs of different worlds, and they're just fucking massive. Like people build
they're endless.
Lord of the Rings. They do Middle Earth.
Yeah, build whole cities and continents.
I'm really surprised by that too, because remember when Lego World was announced? I'm like, this is it. Lego's coming. Lego's gonna get into that mix, and they're gonna dominate. And it did not happen.
They didn't do it right, because Minecraft nailed the gameplay loop, and like I was explaining it to my boss just the other day. I was like, it's simple, but it does push you in a way. Like just simply saying like monsters come out at night, and like you have to gather resources. Like you're like, okay, I don't really get the point of this game. Well, when you're put in the game, you don't have to get the point. You're like, okay, so I can punch a tree and get sticks. Like, what's the fucking point of this? And then nighttime comes, you're like, oh, holy shit, zombies. And you like bury yourself until morning. And then morning time comes around after you stop hearing like the moans and the groans. You dig yourself out of your little hole and you go, well, fuck, I ain't gonna do that again. So you build yourself a little shack. And zombies slam on your door at night. And you're like, well, that ain't gonna work. I'm gonna like, I don't know, build a pit or something. And I'm like, fuck, I need some stone for that. And then the carrot on the stick hooks in, and it drags you along. So it's not even necessarily the creative mode as much as combining the creativity with the story mode, and the main gameplay loop is just protect yourself and your assets. And the more stuff you have, the harder it gets to protect. Thus, the more intricate your defenses need to be. It's got this weird little kind of tower defense game built into it, and that's the thing that finishes off that gameplay loop. You can't just say, here's a bunch of pieces and play. Minecraft wouldn't have lifted off the way that it did if it were only creative mode. Sure, there are people who play it that way, but the reason it really hooked off was because it actually created a real gameplay loop along with that ability to create whatever you want. That's the same thing with Fallout. The reason Fallout, everybody they didn't think settlements were going to be a huge deal. They thought there's this little side niche thing, and then people freaked the fuck out about it. Well, yeah, because it completes a gameplay loop. You're already gathering scrounge of silverware and tin cans for no goddamn reason. Now it gives you a reason to. It closes that loop, which gives you an incentive to keep rolling around that same gameplay loop again, and that's what gameplay addiction is. That's what some people like. That's what makes people obsessed with games. So like having the ability to make something and then put it into context and play it, or having a challenge to getting the resources to get it and having that as part of another game really is the thing that makes all these things kick off. If you look at the combination, like with the overlay of all of them, it's never just a pure maker game. It's a maker hybrid.
All right. So yeah, we're not going to dispute this, right? Minecraft is like the king of these.
Yeah.
All right. Fair
it's
enough.
The king of games.
The king of games. All games.
Has anybody ever played Minecraft in here?
Brett has.
Dude, I played the shit out of Minecraft.
I played it like maybe 2 or 3 times.
Oh no, I got hardcore into dude. I love creating and building stuff. Like I build insane castles.
Have you ever played Terraria?
No, not into the 2D building. Not enough challenge for me.
He needs 3 dimensions.
Dude, I like planning and sculpting. Like I love it, in another world I would be an environmental creator. Like I would create video game environments because I'm one of the few people that really cares about like how like if you crest this hill, like how does the next scene, how does the the street open up to you? Where does it draw your eye? How do you lead players into these tiny little invisible things or hide cool little Easter eggs out of the way? Like I built an entire town in Minecraft with a working sewer system and like secret trapdoors in toilets in the bathroom, so I could traverse the entire town and pop up through anybody's toilets to scare the villagers.
Oh man, you crazy, man!
It was fucking odd. Like the sewer system was fucking dope. It was like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sewer system. Like it had like like water running down the middle and like a big causeway down the side that broke off in different ways and like hung different alcoves with like candlelit areas and like because you can swim upstream, so you just see like these waterfalls kind of coming down, and that would essentially be like the pipe downs. Like it would come out of a stone pipe, and then you just have like this waterfall. So you just go stand in this little 2-block waterfall and jump, and you could like swim straight up the pipe and pop out of any of the plumbing in any of the town. So I can go straight from my castle like down to the hidden under alcove, and like you collect villagers like Genghis Khan. Like you find them and destroy their village, and then like draw them into your village. And then trap them there until they relocated. The idea was like, how big of a city can you create? And like, you actually had to like defend your villagers because zombies would come, break down the walls, and kill all your fucking villagers, and then you're just left king of nothing.
Where's your crown, king?
Nothing. All right, man. Let's move on. Black Metal Gamer. So his first question is, what games had annoying tutorials that just pissed you off? Kudos to Blood Dragon for making fun of that. Okay.
Can I just say Skyrim and get it out of the way?
Say that again, Brad. You're roboting a lot tonight, by the way.
I said, can I just say Skyrim to get it out of the way?
Sure.
All I remember is like the wagon part. Was there an actual tutorial in that game?
Oh wait, I did play that. Yeah, you were in jail and then you were in a wagon. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, the wagon scene. The last like 45 minutes. And most people were like, "Fuck this," and didn't even finish.
Okay.
I remember there was the fucking Apex Legends tutorial. I remember I just wanted to fucking play the game. I'm like, yeah, I know how to play fucking first person.
Yeah, that was stupid.
You don't have to teach me how to shoot a fucking weapon. It's like, yeah, it was fucking annoying. You have to do so much shit. I remember you and Tony and Mike were like just waiting for me to finish this shit. This shit took forever.
So do you press R2 to shoot, or?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
What are the? For some reason, I'm blanking on this. Like, yeah, go ahead.
It's tough because a lot of
Who
games
is breathing like that? Fuck.
Someone breathing.
Yeah.
Can you stop breathing, please?
Yeah, don't breathe, man. Okay, it is Brett.
No, was it? No, I just started doing that.
Oh, okay. I don't know who the fuck that was. Anyway, what is it, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, they have games nowadays have varying degrees of tutorials. I remember when I first played Batman Arkham Asylum, I was getting annoyed because it's like stops you every second to tell you do this to do detective vision and you punch with this and here's free flow, and it would stop you and then show you what you had to do before you could do it. I was like, I just want to punch people.
But couldn't you turn that off? I could have sworn you could have turned that off. And
I don't remember you
turn
being
off
able
a
to.
tutorial. There was one of those type of games Batman with. I remember I just got annoyed and it was an option.
Maybe
to turn it off.
they added it in like Arkham City or whatever. But the first game, like they'd stop you every second. Like, now you got to do this. Now you're in predator mode. Now do this. It's like, oh shit.
Or yeah, the game were just literally like, I need to use detective mode. I really, really need to use detective mode. But yeah, like for tutorials, there was a game that was pretty recent that would stop you a lot. I can't remember which one it is.
Oh, I hate you. So, I don't know if this is what you're referring to, but like I hate when you're playing a game, you start a game and you're playing it, and then the gameplay just stops, and it's like, press B to do this, and I'm like, yo, I thought I'm already playing this game. Why are you stopping me? I don't know who.
Dude, that bothers the fuck out of me too. Like 2 hours into the game, it's like use your grappling control. You're like, whoa! There's still more shit. Like, why are you breaking my narrative, bro?
Yeah.
What about the games that do that type of shit to you like 50 hours in? It's like, wait, what? There's still more shit to learn? You know?
Oh, the Assassin's Creed 3 did that.
Yeah. I thought you taught me everything.
Manny, was it Spider-Man?
Was it Spider-Man? I don't know. That one didn't seem as intrusive.
I don't know what things to my head.
There was like one game that was a pretty recent game that literally was just constantly stopping you to tell you all kinds of stupid stuff. And it's just like, come on, I get it. I just do this thing.
Dude, I gotta be honest. Like, that's how I felt partially about Monster Hunter. As much as I love it.
Monster Hunter had it. I
love Monster Hunter. And then I come back, it's like, all right, time to do my gear. And it's like, do my goddamn taxes.
No, you're right about that. That game
Monster Hunter stopped you a lot in that first mission. Like, hey, you could do this. Hey, you could do that. Hey, you could do this.
Yeah, it literally just stops the whole game, you know?
Yeah.
I wish they just had an option. It's just the fucking tutorial part.
You know what? No, I'm gonna say Monster Hunter takes the crown for most annoying tutorial, even though I love the game. Because how many times have you had to sit through somebody going through the goddamn tutorial intro to a monster that you've already fought? So you're sitting there for 50 minutes with your thumb up your ass while your buddy gets ready to see the monster for the first time.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
Honorable mention to the Halo games. They always start off with look up, look down.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. A lot of first-person shooters like look up, look down. It's like we got to calibrate your just let me fucking play.
Yeah, who doesn't know how to do this? I understand when this shit was one of the first first-person shooters in a console, and it was like the year 2000. But
yeah,
this shit's over with.
Yeah, it still happens. Like, and always we need to calibrate your vision. Always.
Bitch, I was born calibrated.
Yeah. We just or if you're not a robot, right? They did, if you're not a robot, you're like waking up from an operation. All right, we need to check your reflexes. Look up, look down, left and
but
right.
You know why they did that, right? Because a lot of people would bitch because they want to have it reverse. And this was your chance to switch.
Man, fuck those people, man.
Oh.
You know?
Dylon? The hot fire. Shit.
By the way, GZDR says Rise of the Tomb Raider does that a lot. They want you to do the move before you can continue. Yeah, it's like, but that sucks too. It's like you need to do it correctly, you know?
I remember, I think it was I don't know if it was Rise of the Tomb Raider or the regular Tomb Raider when the fucking wolves are charging at you and the fucking shit stops.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious, man?
Excuse me?
The show's getting hectic, and I'm like, why are you stopping the experience? Man, this is some bullshit.
Yeah. I think some of the Assassin's Creed games did have a lot of those bullshit tutorials, too.
I think God of War did that to me a few times.
Probably.
And angrily was one of those, like, because I'm an aggressive player. Chris, you played Dark Souls.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
No, I run in like an ass. I fight like the Irish. I scream and run in. So a lot of times, like, I'll be like halfway committed to attacking somebody when the little tutorial pops up and just ruins your flow. And then you press X to like say like, okay. And the next thing you know, you're not doing the move anymore, and you catch like a hammer to the side of the skull. You're like, son of a.
Well, I think that's why I appreciate Dark Souls. It doesn't tell you anything. If you put like a wand in your hand and you have no magic ability and you're just shaking it around, well, you figure out you can't use that shit. Doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
That game, I can safely say, is unobtrusive with its tutorials.
Yeah, it's like, yo, here you go, man. Just throw you in there. Let you figure that shit out.
Their tutorial is, I don't know, play.
Or put a freaking manual somewhere.
I was gonna say, like, remember when we had manuals? No tutorials back then.
People don't read anymore. That's why we got Audible.
Well, they also don't come with manuals either. Yeah,
Chris, the tutorial for Dark Souls was the Asylum Demon.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
literally, they're like, fight this guy. This is the starter. This is like the punching bag of the game, and like this giant demon is a punching bag.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it is the epitome of sink or swim mentality. Like,
Yeah.
throw me like, try not to die. Try not to die quite so much.
Yeah.
Die less. There you go.
Demon Souls was more sadistic because not only did they give you a fight, but if you won that fight and you think you could get out of the Nexus, a giant dragon fist just comes and punches you to death. Like you aren't getting. It's like, no, motherfucker, you're playing the game.
No.
All right. Next question from Mr. Black Metal Gamer. What is the deal with Nintendo and EA? Do you think there is bad blood or something? Because there's no reason that smaller games like The Sims or Unraveled can't be on the Switch.
What?
I think it's bad blood.
Yeah. By the way, just before we go on, basically EA, we talked about this on Throwdown. You know, the Thursday show, where basically EA said the reason they don't have their games on Switch is because their fans don't want their games on Switch.
They smoke crack rock. They know that's bullshit.
Yeah, Brett, what's your take on that? Because you weren't here for that. Because we all said EA is full of shit, though. What do you say?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty factually proven at this point. Although the reason I laugh is, like, you really think you could get The Sims to run on the Switch? As somebody who used to play the original Sims back in the day and had a wife who fucking loved The Sims, I can tell you what a resource-intensive, badly coded piece of crap that is. I mean, it is just like, it takes a gaming PC that can just beast through any other game and chugs it down to like 15-minute load times, especially with the expansions put on. I mean, they can barely put that shit running on the PS4. Like, they can't do it on the Switch. And I'm sure that they're probably saying that their fans don't want it as a way to save face because they can't do it. Now, I don't know much about Unraveled, but I can tell you, sure, shit Sims ain't going to be able to work on the Switch, not unless it's the janky cut-down version. And if any of you remember, I'm pretty sure they did a version of The Sims on the Wii, or they tried to, and it was just such an abysmal nightmare that they caught flack for it for fucking ever. And these days, with everything being under the microscope, another incident like that would just be just really bad for EA. So I think they're just steering clear of.
There's plenty of other games they can port over.
Yeah, and then
like 360 games.
Yeah, and then remember, and Adam, you're the master of this. EA does have games on Switch, and they'll run like shit. The sports games,
yeah, the sport games, half-ass. They don't give a shit, and then they still label it like the FIFA. They were like, "Oh yeah, FIFA 19, FIFA 18." It's half-ass. It doesn't have the story mode. Doesn't have career mode. Come on now, call it something else. And then they're charging full price for it.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're trying to not do that as much. I don't think they can. I don't think EA can work with Switch. Because let's be honest, EA's approach is throw money at it. They're not talented. They don't hold talent of their own. They can make things happen, but not well. I mean, they're not like I don't know, CD Projekt Red, where it's, you know, a smaller group of guys doing a larger amount because they're all very talented. EA throws money at the problem, and so they get working solutions, but not very good working solutions. I haven't known any EA game to be particularly beautifully or masterfully coded. They work, they look pretty, they're pretty minimal, but they're not really, like, even just the file sizes. Like, have you guys like really paid attention to the file size of EA games? They're fucking huge.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's true.
And then all their games run on Frostbite now.
I think,
you know?
What was it? The last Call of Duty was like 140 gigs installed.
Well, that's Activision. Call of Duty.
Oh, it was Call of Duty. Oh, I meant. Well, how big was Battlefield 5? I thought it was also.
I don't know. I didn't get that one. I passed.
Hater.
Damn right.
Hated it.
Yo, I wonder if there's any bad blood between Nintendo and Rockstar since GTA 5 isn't in the Switch.
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
There's bad blood going between Nintendo and Rockstar since before they were Rockstar, because Nintendo almost bankrupted them. There was a game on N64 called Body Harvest or something like that Nintendo was supposed to publish and they didn't, and the Hausers who ran the company that eventually became Rockstar, they almost went out of business trying to produce this game. So they have bad blood going way back for years and years and years. I mean, just in as so much as like with games like GTA, like I remember when I was there and Reggie wanted it on the Wii U, and they said no way. Like they just flat out told him no. Like it just because they don't want there's stuff that goes back more longer than that. It's not just money and stuff. With EA, it's just money, right? They're just like, is it worth it? For us in the short term and long term, and they're like, man, probably not. So they don't do it. They already abandoned Nintendo, so they're just like whatever. With Rockstar, it goes that blood goes way back, and then you have. It's nothing like Sony and Nintendo, right? Where that hate goes way back.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Moving on here. Actually, let's go to YouTube because people still ask us stuff. Digital Tiger's back. Oh shit.
Excuse me.
You know. All right. So his first.
I'm gonna stir the pot some too. I got a question too.
Oh, all right. Yeah, look, that's awesome. So we'll get to yours after Mr. Digital Tigers.
Yeah, not now.
His first question is: if you were a kid again and you had endless free time, or an adult with endless free time, what game/gaming franchise would you like to become a LARP? And would you participate in? For me, Destiny and Rainbow Six Siege. No, no, fuck that.
Yeah,
fuck that shit.
So how are you gonna LARP Destiny?
I don't.
I don't.
Get out of here. I'm not LARPing.
Yeah,
fuck out of
man.
here. You lost me at LARP.
That's not a dream of mine. Sorry,
not at all. Fuck that. Anybody interested?
No.
All right.
I was like, this question's getting interesting. Then I went to LARP.
He lost me there, man. Hey, listen. Obviously, we appreciate the question, but we're the wrong guys to be asking that shit.
Nobody's here LARPing.
So, at the expense of sounding naive here, what the hell does LARP mean?
A live action role playing game, like you dress up and shit. You try to act the role.
Oh, okay.
It's like coordinated cosplay with a story.
Can I answer?
You're gonna answer for me. Go ahead.
Oh, but it's not a video game though. Never mind. I was gonna say Dungeons and Dragons.
You know what? That is actually the answer I was about to give. The closest I can get is Dungeons and Dragons, and the closest I get to that, like, dude, I love Renfest. And Renfest is essentially a bunch of people LARPing.
Yep.
I don't necessarily enjoy or have any desire to participate in said LARPing, but I enjoy being around it. I love at cons when other people dress up. It's just not my thing. The only way I would dress up is if I were for actually like the architect of like a sweet Iron Man suit, and I would wear it just to show it off. But I think I don't know, Manny, are you the same way? Like I have this theory with creative types, with people who make stuff. Like we don't like to be having the attention ourselves. We like to have we're used to the things that we make getting attention, but not us.
I mean, that's a certain type of creative person. Like some people, their whole idea of dressing up as something is part of the creative process. Like guys like Adam Savage and a lot of the cosplayers, that's part of the process of it. And they, I just think it just depends on the artist and the person who's doing the work that really wants to, whether they want to show it or not. But I do notice that a lot of creative people tend to like, certain types of creative people, like if they do costumes, it's usually things that fully cover them, as opposed to just doing a face thing and like a body, and stuff like that, where you kind of become you totally mask behind the character rather than you showing yourself.
Yeah, I would. That's how I would like. If anything, if you get me in any costume, it'd be like Iron Man, Stormtrooper, something. Yeah, like.
Yeah, for me, it's the same way. It's like if it's a mask or something like that, I'm okay with that. But I don't know if I could.
You don't want to go as He-Man and just
no. You mean fat He-Man?
That's okay. No. That's okay. You could be like you aged up. That's all.
I don't want to be the ironic He-Man. You know, like a lot of those people do, where they just like it's ironic fat Skeletor.
Dude, okay, Fat Batman is always hilarious, especially if he's wearing the tiny cape.
Oh, but that's body shaming.
Uh-oh.
No, nobody's shaming. Who's shamed?
Yeah, that is true. You know, you're celebrating it, man.
Celebration.
Yeah. I guess I should make that stipulation because, you know, people will think like, oh, Tony, you're a hater. Hey, listen, if you want to cosplay, I like seeing cosplay. I think it's cool when people like, especially when they really put a lot of work into it. Mm-hmm. It's just not something I want to do personally, but I enjoy watching it. Just like I enjoy watching LARPers. That's cool too. That's dedication. I appreciate that shit. You know?
Tony, you know, one day we'll get Tony to be Charles Xavier.
Yeah, a fat one, you know.
You know what? I could make a good pre-Venom Bane.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, no, I'm just not interested. I like seeing other people do it, you know. But I don't want to do it myself because I don't want to draw. I draw enough fucking attention to myself. I don't need any more, you know. All right, moving on to Mr. Jiddle Tiger's second question. What?
Hold on. Brian didn't chime in.
Brian. Yeah, you know what Brian's answer is, man. He's British.
Yeah,
he knows my answer. Hell no, like
Ghost Rider.
Like I can't say my real answer for reasons, but
excuse me.
It's all I can say is hell no.
Brian's like, oh hell no. All right, man. Where the fuck are we? Okay, what current non-VR game do you think would make a good VR game? For me, Rocket League and Twisted Metal would be awesome VR games. Okay, so what game that is not VR would you think would be a cool VR game?
Yo,
FIFA. Man, Metal Gear VR missions, man.
NBA, 2K. Any sport game, if it can put you in there, and if you get the whole bodysuit like I wanted with the Call of Duty, where you feel like the shots, I'd love to get the whole suit, and if I get hit from behind, I feel like
previous question or what?
You know, maybe get like a face mask that has like little like punch button things, so that way when I walk out, I see my wife say, "What happened to you?" I got like welts all over. I'm like, "Yo, I lost."
I don't think you understand what VR is, Adam.
I need the next level of VR.
No, I think Adam understands VR more than everybody. I think like he wants that virtual reality.
He wants punched in the face.
Yeah, he wants a holodeck, man.
That's what I want. That's the only way it's going to be real immersive.
Yo, Adam, we're gonna play VR, man. I'm just gonna deck you in the fucking nose.
Adam will be like, I don't like this anymore.
Damn.
No, I think Adam understands VR better than anybody, man.
That's the future. That's the VR people want. People don't want the shit that they have now. They want the hardcore shit. They want the stuff that we see in fucking Black Mirror. That's what they want.
I want that. I want the fucking holodeck, man. That's what I want.
The holodeck. Yeah,
holodeck. But
you give me a holodeck, I'll never leave that shit.
Angel holograms are not a real thing. They're fake science.
They're real.
You know what
looked
heart. Great was what we saw in Ready Player One, where he had that the whole setup and he had the treadmill. But what was it?
That shit all exists. It all exists right now.
All we need is the headpiece, the whole chest piece, and all that, and all the sensors.
Haptic feedback vests.
We don't have it.
Yeah, they do. I
don't have it. You have it. That's what I'm saying. I want it.
Oh no. Like you could invest. Like you can invest in a big ass VR room with like a treadmill, and they make haptic gloves and haptic vests where they send like subsonic sound waves through the vest, and then the places that they cross over create vibration patterns. So they can actually make little vibration ripples, so you feel like when you've gotten hit by a bullet. Like the gamer developers aren't programming for that shit. Like it's coming. It's all going to be available. It's all coming. It's going to be a thing, just not right now.
Yeah. By the way, a follow up to what we were talking about before, that Leroy guy that's in Tekken, he is a brand new character. So there you go.
Okay, all right.
And he's like a kung fu guy. That's kind of cool. People are calling him Black Ip Man.
Well, I'm surprised they're not calling him Kung Fu Joe.
They should, you know.
Remember Kung Fu Joe?
All right.
Afro and everything.
Hey, that's right, man.
Man, you were straight out of a comic book.
That's Black Belt Jones.
I'm also surprised they never put Shonuff in any of these fighting games.
Well, that's a bit of a thing because you got
That
to
would have
make
been
sure,
awesome.
you got to make sure you talk to his estate or his family if you're going to put him in a game.
I don't think that's him though. I think he doesn't own the character. It's
No,
whoever the
it's
studio is.
It's a studio, but it's also his likeness.
Show
no,
Yes, it is.
sure, because it's a character. It's not so much
It's
his
his
likeness. He
likeness,
doesn't
though,
really
bro.
look like that.
Yes, it is. It's likenesses. That's why a lot of these things don't happen, is because of likeness rights. Even after an actor dies, their family owns the right to their likeness.
Exactly. If it's their likeness, show enough is not how that actor looked. That the hair, he had a wig on, the outfit.
Well, I mean, you saw him in Briscoe County Jr. He still looked like Show Enough to me, just with a cowboy hat.
No. He didn't have the football gear on. He didn't have the long ass hair.
It's his face, and that's what it really is. So if they're going to put him in the game, they probably have to make sure that his face does not look like that. It's like the ghost. It's like making it. But then at that point, it's like, okay, what? It's like making a generic Ghostbuster, but he's wearing a Ghostbusters uniform. You know what I mean?
They've done it.
No, but I'm saying
that.
I mean, you see it for created characters, but not for like real characters. If you're gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna put Ghostbuster in there," they're gonna put like fucking Bill Murray in there or whoever one of the other Ghostbusters. They're not gonna put generic Ghostbuster.
You would. Hey, the last one had all generics, and it was horrible. It was a horrible game.
Exactly. See.
But they've done it. That's what I'm saying. I could see them doing something with a show enough character. I could see that.
Tony, I blame you for this.
What did I do now?
What?
This was a question about VR.
Oh man, this is Throwdown, man. You know how it goes.
No, I know. Like right in the middle of it, like you can tell how much you care about VR because right in the middle of it, you're like, oh yeah, by the way, fighting games.
Yeah, that's true. What are you gonna do? But
no, I just wanted to point that out because I found it hilarious. I'm just sitting here. I was like, wow, Tony's just like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck about that.
Like, for example, all right. So what about
Manny and Adam just go off?
No, we're thinking about. Remember in Tekken, because all right, we'll circle it back.
Well, Brett, you missed the intro because we did start the show talking about Evo and all the Tekken.
Yeah, remember Tekken had Super Cop in it. Did they pay Jackie Chan?
That's not Super Cop. It's not Jackie Chan. It's a character that feels like Jackie Chan, but it's not Jackie Chan.
It looked like him. He had the whole outfit with the gun and the straps.
I think in the first one they got away with it because it wasn't such a big deal. But I think now, if you look at him now, that same character,
he looks totally different. Yeah, he doesn't look like Jackie Chan at all.
Even the character Law, even sort of, it walks that line of being a Bruce Lee. But yeah.
And I agree because Fei Long was basically also Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
but back then you could do that.
Yeah, you could. Not anymore. But anyway, Brett, circling back, say what you need to say about VR. And I don't disagree with you. I don't care. Speak, motherfucker.
Use your words, man. Use your words.
He don't want to talk.
No, what was the question?
No,
again?
just say whatever you want about VR, man.
Just say something about the.
It would be awesome with hockey games.
No, Brett. Yeah, Brett. Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's actually be fair and actually answer the man's question. Okay. So, what currently non-VR game would you like to see in VR?
Is Skyrim?
That's right.
Skyrim is VR.
Let me answer your question with another question. Who's ready to get disoriented, fall over, and throw up? Let's play some Portal.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's not in VR.
Excuse me?
No, not in the real world.
Man, I take it back off your answer.
Oh no, I have the best answer.
I doubt it.
Burnout.
In VR, that would be crazy. Imagine that shit going 50 million miles an hour, man. You'd be throwing up everywhere.
I mean, it'd be good, but I'm still gonna go with Portal. It's like you're falling down through an infinite series of holes, gaining momentum.
It's like, where the hell am I?
Oh shit, that'd be crazy.
What way is up?
I'll give you props, Brian. It's a good answer, but I still think Portal is number one for me.
It'd be crazy, man.
No, it's not that. Okay, I think that the difference is like I played quite a lot of Elite Dangerous, and in that game there is no up. So hence, I'm just used to the idea of like I don't know where up is, so it doesn't matter. Whereas with Burnout, it's just the sheer sense of speed and the fact that you won't be able to see anything, often just blurs, is just there's no point of gaming anymore. Just be like a giant blur.
Yo, Brian, what about when you crash, bro?
Exactly.
Brian, what about alert?
Like you crash in slow motion, and then you're like, oh shit! It's like time is just warping around me.
No, but real crash, like your character flies out of the
No,
car
that
and
doesn't
you
happen in
whirling.
Burnout though.
I know, but you have to add it if you're gonna do VR.
No, you don't.
Dude,
There are no people in Burnout.
Yeah,
Who
there's
here
no
has a-
humans.
Who here
That'll be
has a
real
wrecked
burnout.
car in first-person view in GTA and immediately went, nope, I'm not playing this in first person.
Oh,
anymore.
that shit was fun. That is fun. That is fun when you fly through the windshield and stuff. Oh my god!
No, it's not. No, it's. I'll say it. It's damn near unplayable.
It is.
I did it,
Yeah.
man. I got that Chivo for 15 hours of playing in
Damn.
first person view.
Damn.
I did it.
I just don't like it. You know me, I prefer third person over first
Yeah,
person.
That's what I'm saying. Like I get too frantic, especially when you crash, and I don't know if getting blurred vision and not being able to see is something I want with VR.
It's like the reverse Fallout. That those games weren't optimized to play that way.
I agree. Yeah. Again, I'm the guy who prefers third person. I play Fallout exclusively in first person because it doesn't look right in third person. But I will say this: with GTA, I did play. You know, when you're actually driving, that I put in first person because I love seeing the dashboard. That is so
each
fucking
car
cool.
was different. Yeah,
that's what. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no.
Not only was
It's
everything.
great until you crash.
No, that's what makes it fun when you crash. You know. And
Oh, God.
Adam, did you notice how every car, the radio sound has a different quality to it too?
Yeah, if it had good speakers.
Yeah,
and stuff inside the
it's
car,
fucking dope.
They
man.
went all out
Yeah.
with that, and I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
going into buildings in first person and switching in and out of the view. When I would walk the streets, most of the time I was in third person. But
Yeah,
when it's
no,
time to actually do something, first person, let's do it.
How does cover work in first person?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
I think I
just crouched. I don't
You know,
know.
Adam just went in first person mode and just fucking left it there and just fucking came back the next.
No, man, I played. I was running around in that world.
Yeah. All right, man, let's move on. Johnny the truth teller, people. Question. Microsoft is raiding Sony studios, taking Sony's top developers. Do you think Sony can survive this mass exodus to Xbox?
Wait, what?
What is he
Oh
talking
no!
about?
All of Sony's award-winning developers that they own.
So he's basically saying that everybody's leaving Sony to go to Microsoft, and can Sony survive this?
Who's leaving Sony? Sony.
I don't know.
I have no
most
idea
of
what he's
Sony's
talking
award-winning
about.
Games are developed in-house. That's kind of the secret to their success. The one that Microsoft has not figured out yet.
No, I think there was one game that like is being developed by a former Sony guy. Now they're like, oh my god, this game's gonna be amazing, even though they shitted on the developer when he was a Sony guy.
Here's open letter to all Xbox fans. Here's the thing. We don't care. We don't care. This isn't like baseball cards. We're not trading. We don't care. The main difference between the companies is and has been for a very long time for us old head gamers that Microsoft buys games. Sony builds games. And that's never changed. Like now you're seeing Microsoft go through and buy up all these studios. Yeah, that's what Microsoft does. That's what they've been known to do. Like honestly, how many good recent, like in last generation in-house Microsoft games, first party Microsoft games can you think of? Like just almost all of Sony's all-star lineup is Sony games. Their quality is just amazing. Like fucking Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man is so dope. And the quality of it is amazing. And even if you don't like Days Gone, it is a typical Sony first-person game, and it is a high quality. Talk shit on it all you want. I've watched both of them. It is pretty much Horizon.
And I mean, you know, you could theoretically say the same thing about the company that made Spider-Man. How do you feel about the guys who made Sunset Overdrive essentially using all the shit that they made with Sunset Overdrive and applying it to Spider-Man?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that might be a mic drop, Manny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing is, dude, I think he has a misconception that this is somehow a Sony podcast. And it's this podcast is everything and anything. And if it means that, you know, one company has something over another, then that's great. But I don't think the situation is that at all. What Microsoft got Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory wasn't even owned by Sony. Yes, they developed Heavenly Sword, But all the games that they developed after that were all for different studios. Devil May Cry was for Capcom. Journey to the West, or Monkey. That game, that was just one that they published on their own. So I don't understand what he means about that. Where Sony guys going over there? You know what I mean? It doesn't. I think you go where the opportunities are.
Yeah, even then, like if Microsoft would actually pony up and buy a studio, and buy a studio that people really cared about, like made an EA size acquisition. Like everything Microsoft buys is B grade and up. Like if these were celebrities, these would be B list, right? Like they're not A list developers. You're not buying fucking BioWare. Like you could have bought BioWare and not drained them of life like a horrible daywalking vampire.
I mean, like, to be honest, yeah, I feel like that is the biggest missed opportunity with Microsoft. If they would have just bought that company, bought BioWare when they had they were doing Jade Empire for them, and then they did the first Mass Effect for them. They should after that they should have just said, you know what, we're taking you, because. To be honest, that game was so beloved, right? That game, and they was totally locked down to Microsoft, and they should have just stayed with that. What do they have? I mean, come on! Like Mass Effect was like pretty much one of the biggest Western RPGs made in years.
It was known, yeah, like it was and it was known as the Microsoft game. Like they already had that shit branded and locked down. All they had to do was sign, and they didn't. And the whole franchise floated away from them because they thought they had it locked down without having to pay the money. And now they're scrambling because, we've seen Sony do that. We've seen Sony acquire and merge studios, and they become, for all intents and purposes, Sony studios. We think of them as Sony studios now. And Microsoft could have had that opportunity, but they never did, and so they don't have any internal mechanism to produce great games. And they don't have the money to buy the studios that are worth that much. The only people that have that money is again Vampire EA, which is fucking terrible. It's not great, but I'm
sure Microsoft does have the money to go and purchase a bunch of heavy duty studios, but at the same time, I mean, if you look at their financials, their games division is not doing incredibly well, and I feel like they're. I mean, it's doing well, but it's not doing insane to the point where Microsoft is willing to make a huge investment. That's why if you look at all the third-party companies that they actually acquired, they're all pretty kind of, middle tier / indie companies. What's the biggest company that they have? The biggest company that they had was kind of like Ninja Theory, but even them, they were they made very good games, but they wouldn't at that. Until the last game they did, they weren't really top of the food chain. And I mean, what was the other one? Tim Schafer's company, Double Fine, which is again a great company, but at the same time,
they were on Kickstarter.
They were on Kickstarter, and to be honest, they were kind of on they were kind of limping across the finish line ever since they kind of been this way, been sort of independent like this. The Kickstarter thing. The Kickstarter thing did okay for them, and the other thing, when they funded Psychonauts, that did okay for them. But at the same time, I think the best thing they could have did was sign up with Microsoft, because they probably wouldn't have been around very much longer.
It did not do okay for them. I am still angry about that. Broken Age, they delivered half a game because they ran out of funding, then went back to Kickstarter to ask for more money. That is, if that's not the sign of a company severely mismanaged and on the verge of death, I really don't literally be like, yeah, I know we guys pre-ordered this game, but here's half the game, and we'll get the other half to you as soon as we raise some more money. So tell your friends to buy this game. What?
Yeah, where they turned it episodic.
Yeah.
When a lot of people weren't very happy about that.
Yeah, oh, don't worry, just wait another 9 months, or a few years or whatever. I just never fucking went back, and I was.
I think a lot of that with that situation is that they even didn't factor in all the different tiers and things that they were making, as part of the thing. And also, when you make that crazy amount of money, when you initially do the Kickstarters, you actually don't make all that money. A lot of that stuff goes off to Kickstarter themselves. So you have to calculate the Kickstarter funding, for using their service, as well as all the different tiers that you supposedly created, and if you have if within the budget to kind of do that stuff. That's why a lot of the guys that do Kickstarter, they're usually just looking to kind of get a book. They have a book done and they're just looking to get it published or something. So they already have a finished product.
Yeah, you're not supposed to go on Kickstarter until
know
you have the funding. Anyway, though, like,
I definitely think like here's the thing, like I definitely think the potential of the studios that Microsoft have picked up is very interesting, and I would love to see what they offer. But at this point in time, obviously it's just all vaporware. We're just thinking about the potential of what they could do, as opposed to the reality. We did see Ninja Theory's game, and it wasn't what everybody was thinking about. I mean,
okay, I do gotta say though, like I am okay. I think you guys finally got me. I think you finally got me. You finally got me to that point. I gotta give my pony answer.
Pony answer.
Pony.
I gotta put on the bridle, man. I gotta give my pony answer. Ready? Yo, bro, come in when your company acquires some real studios.
Damn. Almost where you at?
Yeah,
all right,
man.
taking it off. Good again.
Wow.
Shit.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't talk about that.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, like, here's the thing. Obviously, this guy really loves Microsoft, and you can't. There are a lot of people that will.
Oh no! I know, but
drink the Kool-Aid, and
he's starting a nerd war. He's one nerd off. There's my nerd answer.
There you go.
Pony
Pony down, motherfuckers.
Obviously he's just like a lot of people. We have a lot of people who are into Sony stuff who are just totally drinking the Kool-Aid, which is like, you have the one thing to be about the things that you enjoy. Also, there has to be a fair amount of criticism that you can throw at the things that you love. I will be the first to tell you, I love Metal Gear, but there are fucking problems. There are problems with it, but that is a level way of thinking. It's like, okay, yeah, as much as there's problems in there, there's still, despite the problems, there are still things that I enjoy, and I feel like you have to be able to find that balance between the things that the thing that you enjoy, and not just blindly accepting what they are giving you.
Nah, Manny, I believe that every Bethesda game is a perfectly polished gem with no bugs.
The gems, or at least the ones that you play on your PlayStation 4/PC,
Yeah.
they never.
No, I think Manny's right. Like, no, it is being impartial. I feel you guys push the buttons. I feel you get antagonized, and every once in a while, I just want to take the bait.
Yeah, man.
Get a nerd fight.
Man, you got to be the Zen master. You have to pull out your hands and go, oh.
Fuck that shit. I ain't no Jedi.
Oh man, we're talking to Darth Brett. Darth Murdoch.
Darth Murdochus, man.
Darth Murdoch, yes.
Darth Murdoch. Guys.
Ultimate power. No. All right. What the fuck are we? Oh yeah, Brett, your question. What is it?
Okay, so I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit with the recent news of
more than you already have.
Excuse me? No, dude, that's why I'm here, man. I'm a pot stirrer. You guys get bored with that, but you know you love me. All right, so with the recent news of tariffs possibly driving up console prices, let's go back to the age-old Throwdown game of how much will people pay for the PS5/new Xbox.
Ooh.
Because I think some answers have changed, and I want to change mine to between 5 and 800.
Damn, 800?
Yeah, so Brett, I don't understand your question. So are you saying how much are they going to price them, or how much people are willing to pay for them?
How much do you think that they'll price them? I guess is the question. Because some people will pay an inordinate amount, but you know that they're going to try and get their value in lab. Looking at the hardware, man, that's not cheap hardware.
I stick by my original prediction. I think $500 will be the price of the consoles, both of them, all of them.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. I don't know, man, because now they could theoretically be like $700. Now you're fucking killing yourself, though.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
killing
No,
yourself.
I don't see them doing that.
Yeah,
They'll take the loss. They'll
I
ease it
guess
up.
the question is, how much of a hit are they willing to take? Because they're gonna take a hit with these fucking tariffs. You know?
They are, but here's the thing: if they come out in lockstep and both of them pay $600, the fuck are you gonna do? Not buy a new console?
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna happen too. They're both gonna price their consoles probably at $500. So, and people may just be like, fuck it, you know.
I agree. They can't price it up to $800. Like
No.
they'll lose so many sales. Like people have a pain point where they can't go past. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
I want a PS5, but if it's 800,
Yeah, no, I said between 5 and 8. In fairness, I'm personally thinking 6.
It just
I had to
means
put a hard number on it.
Jesus, 6.
the biggest thing though, man. Like
That's brutal.
It's going to be like they're going to take a huge ass loss off of these consoles if they do this. But I mean, here's the thing: like whenever they do those consoles, they already take a loss, but it's going to be even bigger now, right?
Yeah, no one's buying a $600 console unless you're crazy.
I don't know about a 600, man.
If
Like-
they're both $600, you're not gonna buy a new.
But remember,
I'll wait.
Microsoft
I
and Nintendo-
refuse to pay that kind of price. Fuck that.
Man, I mean, that's because we old, Tony.
Yeah, I am old, and you know me. I'm a stubborn motherfucker, man. I'm not paying.
No,
that kind of
I
price.
know, but you are not representative of the average crowd. And I'm
I'm
saying,
speaking for myself. I'm speaking purely for myself. I don't care what anybody else does. I am not paying $600 for a console. Get the fuck out of here.
we're paying $1,200 for smartphones.
I'm not paying that shit for a smonphone. I paid $300 for mine, man.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that like we're also got to talk about like the money situation in general. I mean, I don't think poor folks are gonna be like,
No,
I'm
fuck
gonna buy me a $600 console. No.
You guys
That
really
ain't
think it's going to be
happening, man.
only $100 more
Unless there was
pro.
some sort of layaway program, man.
Yeah, that'll work.
That is the way it'll
I mean,
work.
maybe it will. You guys are really telling me that the next generation of console, you've seen the chipset, you've seen the technology in there. You're telling me that shit's gonna be $100 more than the
We
PS4
have
Pro?
seen the chipset in it. We haven't seen shit on those things. We just got a couple.
We've seen it. No,
Yeah,
but Brett, I keep saying, people, the regular motherfucker, like it's gonna be hard for them to pay for a console.
They've already said that the PS5 is going to be a niche system.
Yeah.
This is not going
That's
to be
fine.
a generation rollover thing. They're doing this the same way the PS4 Pro did. They do not expect to roll out a shitload of them, and that statement alone tells me they know people are going to be knocked off by the price. In the same fucking article that they're talking about the price tariffs, they're also saying that the PS5 is not going to be a mass adoption console at launch. It's going to be a niche system, and that's because they're not going to kill off. They're not killing off the PS4 Pro. They are doing that generation console thing, so they have the ability to do that. And if they're saying that they don't expect wide adoption and it's going to be a niche thing, that is exactly what they said when they launched the PS4 Pro, being that it's and they even
that was
said
$400, by the way.
Yeah, and they're saying it's a system for elite gamers, right? Yeah, and it was $400. You're saying the PS5 is going to be only $100 more than that.
Yeah, because here's the thing, even 500 is already pushing it, man. Like that's a lot of fucking money. So I think that's what they mean by the elite guys. 600, you're not getting anybody to buy that shit unless there's 10 dudes out there. That's a lot of money, man. No one's buying that shit unless you're like a crazy hardcore rich guy.
I mean, like, did we ask the crowd to see the fans if they would pay that sort of money for a console?
Half of them said yes.
Half of them. So it was like it's about down the middle.
Yeah.
And I think that was well, no, that's more than the middle. But I think that was $500 we asked.
$500, yeah. People, I think half of them said yes, they would pay that.
And $600, I think it would be different answers.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't. It's such a slippery slope with that.
That
stuff.
sounds like a question we should ask on Twitter.
I mean, I probably, like if it was me, if anything, I'd probably just be saving.
I would not pay that kind of money. No fucking way.
I mean, I wouldn't buy it. I mean, here's the thing: I wouldn't buy it on the right on the day, and then probably if they sweeten the deal with the game, maybe I could sort of justify it. But at least for me, I don't know.
Yeah, that's too much.
Dropping down 600.
Okay,
That's a lot of money.
That's like taxes right there.
Yeah, man.
But didn't you see that report that it was like Microsoft and Nintendo are moving their productions out of China so to avoid this?
Oh, really? No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they
might
posted that during the week. They already said that it's because it's not all the parts, and they were like they're moving some of it out to like Taiwan and other areas.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if it's Taiwan or
okay, so they're trying to. Okay.
Yeah,
they're trying to avoid it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony.
What up?
Interesting fact: since the PS4 was released, the inflation of the dollar has gone up essentially $60.
Oh no, I understand that, but again, like because we've had this discussion many times, the average guy doesn't care about that shit. They go in there. What's the cheapest console?
I don't.
Here's my problem with your argument. Like, if you keep that idea that idea cannot exist in perpetuity.
No, it can. It has to change eventually.
Prices change. Yeah.
But no, the average guy isn't thinking about that shit. That's what I'm telling you. They don't care about that. They're not thinking.
Oh, they're younger than us, and they're not shocked by these prices. That's
Are they? I mean, I don't know, Brett. I mean, do you know a lot of normal people? I mean, come on, think about it. Most of the people that you know work in tattooing. They're already in that sort of space. We're talking about like.
You know, I tattoo on people, right?
Oh, you tattoo on?
You just know a lot of rich people. That's one thing.
Your people are rich.
Your people are rich.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm telling you, I do work in an industry where people come in and drop $500 and $600. I'm telling you, average Joes who work at Pizza Hut find a way to find $500 or $600.
I think there's a big. I feel like there's a bit of a difference when it comes to tattooing, and I feel like electronics. I think that people. I mean, because we're talking about the same sort of people that complain about like at one point somebody's complaining about a console costing a lot of money and it's only $600, but yet they're buying $1,000 phone. We're talking about that same sort of. We're talking even back when the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox came out, people were complaining about that Xbox price. Yet they were buying a phone that was. Some people were buying phones that were.
I said that too. There's this weird block, man. I have it too.
I feel like
when it comes to consoles,
we talked about this. They're not paying the full price up front.
They're
doing payment plans.
And that's TV prices have gone up too.
TV prices have gone down.
They've gone down a lot.
They have gone down now. You can buy a 4K television for close.
Oh yeah, for like $200-$300.
$300. So
yeah, they jump up and then they drop down, and you can't buy a good 4K TV for $200-$300.
People don't care. 4K.
People don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't care. Nobody cares.
Most people don't probably
pay attention to the HDR.
They probably don't even to know how to turn off the motion flow or the HDR. Turn on the HDR. They probably have fucking component cables connected to their fucking using a DVD player on this 4K television. I know that's the world that some of my family members are in. They're like, man, why doesn't this look clear enough? I don't know. Maybe because you're not using an HDMI cable.
Yeah,
that's the average person. They don't know about that shit.
They don't know. They think they don't care.
Fair. Why does my Netflix look all blurry? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because your connection is slow.
What do you mean? I have internet.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, I got some crow to eat a little bit too.
Uh-oh. Man, we got to call up Brandon Lee now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You got some crow to eat.
Yep. So, got myself a new PS4 Pro.
Whoa,
man.
One second.
You said you weren't that person, remember? You're like, not me.
One second. Dude! The turnaround was less than a week.
Yeah.
So Brett, was it a fancy PS4 or was it just the plain vanilla one?
It was Pro.
Well, I mean, there's also there's a fancy version of the Pro, but yeah,
so it's like a bundle.
Yeah, what was it, a bundle or was it just plain old Pro?
No, it was just a plain old Pro. It was actually on sale at Walmart for $50 off. So, and I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a special exception here because my main motivation for buying it was
you're a special exception. That's what you told yourself in your head.
It's like I can do this.
I'm special.
I didn't want to play on my dead wife's PS4.
Okay, I gotcha. I know where they're at.
So like I was sitting there eyeballing it and like getting ready to unpack it for because I got 2 rooms, I got 2 nice TVs, I want to be able to play in both areas. But I was like, man, I just really do. It's like fucking Tiny Tim's rocking chair. So like I bit the bullet and I was like, man, is $350 worth not having to dig into this? And a year sounds like a short amount of time, but it's also a year. Like $300 over the course of a year. I mean, and when the PS5 comes out, I'm definitely not going to buy 2 of that shit. So.
I mean, to be honest, if anything, you could probably sell your old PS4. You're not going to need it anymore at that point, right?
Well, no, because he needs it for his other room, as Brett and I discussed.
No, if he's getting a PlayStation 5, he's not going to need a...
yeah. Go ahead, Brett.
My PlayStations, because they're skinned for with Sensuke and Ryoko from Rachel and I, they're mementos.
Oh, okay. So you're going to store those and keep them somewhere. Okay. There's a personal connection to it.
Yeah. So I'm going to store those, but eventually when the PS5 comes out, it's going to be iterative generations. So the PS4 is kind of getting phased out, and then I'll have the Pro and a PS5 for my two rooms, and so I'll still be kind of working that stair step thing. So mine is a unique position. I'm still eating crow on it in the sense that like I was like, man, it's only a year out, and I started thinking about it, I was like, man, a year is a long time. But
does it look nice on your TV?
I haven't started yet. I'm about to as soon as the podcast is over. I'm gonna
we're holding you back.
Horizon. Some Horizon, give it a second chance.
Well,
he's giving Horizon a second chance, guys.
Excuse me.
See, I am open to ideas and willing to change.
There you go, man.
By the way,
so progressive of you, man.
By the way, I still haven't played Horizon.
What?
No, I haven't played Horizon yet.
Oh shit.
All right, man, let's move on. G Mega Force 123. So his first question is, does it freak you out when you see... Hold on. This is funny. Okay. Does it freak you out when you see 666 in a video game? When you do a combo, it will be 666 hits. If you do damage on an enemy, it will be 666 damage. If you get gold or money, it'll be 666. Some think 666 is just nonsense. Others think it's a regular number. Religious people freak out when they hear or see 666. To me, it's just a number such as 111, 222, 333, etc. I just ignore it, such as walking under a ladder is bad luck or breaking a mirror is bad luck, etc. I do not believe this stuff. This is
666 was just a code.
666.
That's all it was. It's just what the priests use as a code of possession.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Let him who have understanding reckon the number of the beast, because it is a human number.
Yes,
its number is 666.
It's
go ahead.
It's also the and this is my personal belief, probably something to do with the fact that it is the inverse ratio or inverse proportion of the golden ratio, or the golden Fibonacci spiral 1.333. The alternative or the opposite of that is the 0.666.
Yo, man, you're doing that. You're doing that. What is it? That Renaissance stuff right there.
By the way, didn't they prove that 666 is the wrong number? It's actually like 616 or something.
It was 1666 is what they were saying. It was like the year of the first Black Mass that took place in Germany.
Why got to be black?
That's what they call it.
Tony, did you say 616?
Yeah, like Marvel, like the Marvel Cinematic.
Yeah,
the regular. Yeah. Now, let me see. I'm gonna look this up.
Not number of the devils. Yeah. It's like the MCU. Right?
No, like that's no, like that's like it's supposed to be 616, and they fucked up and they got it 616 instead, 666 instead. 666 is not the number of the beast. Is it 333?
I know it's not 666 because everyone thinks it's 666.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's like really
I'm looking this up because I heard it was like a wrong translation.
Oh. Yeah. There was a wrong translation in the Bible?
Yeah. Yeah, Brian, I was right. It's the original. If you translate it correctly, it's 616, like the Marvel universe.
Oh shit! Little did we know that the Marvel universe is hell.
Actually,
I can kind of see it.
Yeah, but actually, no. Here's the thing. I'm going to bring it all back around now. Marvel has stopped calling it their main comic book universe 616 for about 3 years now, and Marvel has been shit for 3 years. So, yeah, kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Marvel was cool when they were in league with the devil, man. Praise hail Satan.
So it's so interesting. Like, yeah, but when it comes to the number 666, I think it's really fun.
Its number is
Yeah.
666.
I think it's fun and silly because it's like, like I remember one time I got like 666 followers. I'm like, oh no! I'm
Raise
like,
the horns, man.
oh no, man! Or you get 666 favorites or something like that. I'm like, it's just this fun silliness. It's funny how like there's just these specific numbers that are just like forbidden numbers. Like the number 666, 13.
I'm gonna start looking for songs that are 7 minutes and 6 seconds. That's 666 seconds altogether. Those are the most metal of metal songs.
And seven. Yeah, then there's the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
7 deadly
sins.
Isn't there like this rule like don't have like a fourth or ninth floor? One of those numbers.
13th.
It's the 13th
floor.
Yeah, you gotta skip
Yeah,
the floor.
Okay.
Oh yeah, like what? Like a lot of buildings don't have a 13th floor. They have like 12A.
Yeah.
No, in
Or
New
they go
York,
straight
there's
to
plenty of
14.
buildings just skip it. They just
Yeah,
go to 14.
it's just 12, 14. But I mean, if you look outside and you count the floors, yeah, there's a 13. It's just not labeled it because people just,
They
superstitious.
feel superstitious about it. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
No one ever goes to the 13th floor.
All right, man. And the last question of the night. Why do some people think saying, that's not a gaming question?
What is this?
Oh, I mean, I'll read it, but this is not a gaming question at all.
Okay.
Okay, why do some people think saying it's quote unquote it's my opinion will save their argument? Like most people on the internet, they would like to argue and speak their mind, but they use the quote unquote it's just my opinion line to protect themselves from anyone coming back at them, as if it's an internet shield to keep me from going against their opinion. All right, interesting question, but it's not a gaming question.
I mean, it's an interesting. We could say, like a lot of that gets thrown out whenever it's like gaming stuff like that, or or
yeah. So let's twist it to gaming somehow.
Yeah. So
That's what sucks.
that's what sucks.
No, I'm waiting for Tony's thing. Like, well, Brian, that's just your opinion. There you go. See, we'll bring it back now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like the thing about it, it's like, I feel like when it comes to certain things where when it is a person's opinion, you also got to remember that when something becomes an opinion, it actually doesn't become. It's not exactly truth. It may be truth for that person, but it's not a universal truth.
Truth.
Yo, man, whenever you say that, like, one person always comes to mind. I think Tony knows what I'm talking about.
Wait, do I know who this person is?
You do, but I don't know if you remember right now at this moment.
I may not.
But I think
You can tell me off air.
I think a lot of times when when it comes to opinion, you can
actually no, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Man, that shit always ends like
always, man. All right, go ahead, Manny.
But I mean, I think it's a bit hard to kind of battle with that idea of opinion, because it's not exactly the truth. It's essentially has to do with the way some person is seeing it.
Yeah.
Which is odd, because you can't officially argue that because of the fact that it's only it's only specific to that person. So, but it's like a weird social situation, because when somebody's talking about truth, like let's say the sky is blue, and then the person just says, in my opinion, it's actually greenish.
Yeah.
How did that's not like. That can't really be argued, because it's like I don't know.
I mean, I disagree with that.
Well,
that's just your opinion.
That's just your opinion, though, Brett.
You can. I mean, you can argue. Can you argue with somebody's opinion or opinion which also may actually be flawed?
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to whether you believe in objective truth or subjective truth. And if you believe in objective truth, then it is a place that you can be on. It's like standing a certain distance from a rock. Like, you can be far from a rock, and I can be far from the rock, and the rock can be truth, or a big circle on the ground can be truth, and like we can both be on, equally wrong and standing on different sides of it. One of us can be closer to it than the other one. Generally speaking, nobody has a firm handle on truth while the other person has a complete disregard for it. And it's only through communicating with each other and kind of creating these grappling lines and pulling ourselves in from different opposing points of view that we can actually find truth, because we can only view truth from one angle. It takes other people viewing it from other angles and communication to kind of hone in and zero in on truth. That's why objective communication and philosophical argument are critically important if you believe in objective truth, because they're what help you find that objective truth. You can only see things from one point of view yourself, one facet of the gem. So you can't do it alone. So if you believe in subjective truth, then none of it fucking matters, and all philosophy goes out the window anyway.
But here's a weird thing about it. It's like, okay, so let's say, with that sort of idea, let's talk about where a group of people essentially come to the idea of one specific thing, even though it actually may not, realistically, it actually is not the truth, but they've all come to this idea of this one thing, of something existing that really doesn't exist, something like that. For them, that is considered the truth, but to the rest of everybody, it isn't. But isn't that just a united opinion?
It's a functional truth, and that's one of those things where every supervillain kind of brings up this point, and there is merit to it, that if everybody believes in something and treats something a certain way, it kind of may as well be true. And to a certain extent, that's functionally correct in terms of understanding and predicting behavioral patterns. But that doesn't mean that, you have to boil it down to the extreme black and white. But like, let's say I say an apple exists and you say an apple doesn't exist. Well, we know that apples exist. We have eaten them before. But if you've never seen one and you're just convinced, you're not taking some high philosophical road of saying that they're not real. You've never seen an apple and you're like, nah, you're completely wrong. Apples don't exist. Like, we've all seen them. We know that there is an objective truth there, even though you may be blind to it. So we know that even in the simplest terms, there is some objective truth. Not everything is objective. That is a matter of debate. Personally, I'm one of those people that I think objectivity reaches into art, and that sometimes you do something like The Witcher, for instance, right? Like, The Witcher is a good game, but from my point of view, from the single facet that I can see it, it's just not my jam. But I can see the bits of it where I can see it's well crafted and it's made with a lot of passion, a lot of love, and I see the reflection of truth in the rest of the community, how everybody else approaches it and loves it, and I can see the beauty of the game reflected in their eyes, in their enjoyment of it. And so through that, even though my perception is kind of blocked and I don't really understand it or get it, I can see where it's a good game through them. So again, through other people and interaction, I can kind of get a better handle on what is the objective truth. The objective truth is, in my opinion, that is a well-made game made with lots of love and critically received and beloved by many. It's a good game. I'm not going to sit there and argue that it's not, because I genuinely believe that it is.
But do you think that also, I think sometimes people are not able to take that stance when it comes to something like that, where, in other words, they see something is shit just because they don't actually enjoy it and they can't see the other side of it. Like, in other words, it's like, like that same idea where it's like, one person doesn't like The Witcher and they think everybody out there is stupid because they like The Witcher.
Oh yeah. But from my point of view, my world point of view, I think that they're wrong. And I will admit, my point of view is not unbiased. I'm a lover of philosophy. Like, I would have taken a philosophy major if it mattered or was useful at all. And one of the founding pillars of all Western philosophy and most Eastern philosophy is there has to be objective truth. Because if there isn't, then there's no point in arguing any of this. That's like first day philosophy stuff. And I'm not trying to say it's like rudimentary or anything like that. But if it comes down to like, if you believe we all lived in a simulation, that nothing is objectively real, that we're the dream of a giant, that any one of these weird, things that could very well be true. But if you believe those things, then no philosophy matters, no logic matters, and we're just along for the ride. So none of all of this is pointless. So in the meantime, when you get to it on the other hand, like even if we are a dream, even if we are a simulation, even if we are the other thing, this dream or simulation follows a certain set of rules. So you end up just kind of looping back to no matter how much objective truth may not exist, because like we could be living in a subjective reality, the rules of this subjective reality are so firm that they're indistinguishable from objective reality. So even if you don't believe in objective truth, you have to treat the world as if there is objective truth, because even if it's subjective, it's indistinguishable from objectivity. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like these people that have this idea that like, the truth is subjective, like, well, kind of, yes, but that's, and I hate to say it like this, that's just your opinion, man. And even if you believe that opinion, you still have to treat it as if it were objective, because again, it's indistinguishable within the world and the confines of the world that we live in. If this is a simulation, it's a damn good one. The sun still rises every day. Like the sun is programmed to rise every day. So we just should treat it like it rises every day, because that's the only way to predict natural order. So subjectivity, in my opinion, and I know I kind of went off on a curve on this one, subjectivity in any matter, in my opinion, is an irrelevant and useless mental exercise. You can't just be like, that's just your opinion. Because if you really delve far enough down that rabbit hole, you always loop back to, but it really isn't just your opinion. It may just be your opinion, your position in relation to what is actually true. And you can give that saying, be like, I'm probably wrong. I'm only able to see this as one person in a sea of many from this certain perspective through my own personal life experiences. Like, you can give that disclaimer. But to say that, really it's nobody can say what art really is. Nobody can say what good really is. Like, certain people who have a better handle on truth, or maybe trained on those things, might have a better handle. Like the same way you could be like, ooh, who can really say what kind of wiring is in this house? Nobody. Well, somebody who's trained, an electrician. An electrician could tell you what kind of wiring is in that house. Just because you don't know doesn't mean that somebody doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, there's those things that it's like, those are like, those are those truths that it's like, that's the way it is. You see it's there, and then that's what it is. But then it's like in this sort of situation with the question, it's like a lot of people use that's your opinion to just kind of just end an argument, just be like,
they just use it to close down discussion. And that's my point, is that's just your opinion is never valid, because essentially if you're saying that's just your opinion, you're arguing reality is subjective, good is subjective, there is no such thing as good or bad. And again, I will be a stickler and split hairs and be like, if you want to follow this bitch all the way back to the fundamental building blocks of the way that you argue and critical Western thought, I can. And we can bring it all the way back to, no, it's not just your opinion, man. And no, we can't just agree to disagree. I mean, we can, but that's a blatant cop-out. Just understand that it's a blatant cop-out. You can never walk away and say, like, that's just your opinion and be right.
One of the things that, like, when me and Tony, and our other friends were younger, we kind of had this sort of semi-understanding as to, like, we always had, like, differences of opinion that would sort of clash. But one thing I noticed that we tend to do was just sort of, okay, yes, we didn't agree with that specific thing, but we did try to at least try to get to the point where we could understand the other person's sort of stance on that subject. Where it's like I feel like that is one thing that I think is missing from a lot of society right now. Where, like, okay, yes, you do have a different opinion about this sort of thing, right? But why not try to dig a little bit deeper and come in and try to figure out not figure out, but try to come to an understanding as where the two sides are coming from. It's like, oh, okay, that's why you think this is that way, as opposed to just kind of going, blah,
Exactly. And Tony and I come to this conclusion all the time, and essentially, it's not so much we agree to disagree, as much as me telling, like Tony, for instance, from your perspective, from the lens that you see reality through, I don't think that you'll be able to see the good in this game. From the lens I see reality through is a little bit different. And so sometimes I'm able to see good things in the game. Sometimes he's able to see good things in the game. And it's just kind of my opinion. If you see them, they're there. Because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. So, but yes, you should absolutely take the other person's lens into point of view. Like Tony and I can totally talk about games, and he'll say, "Man, it's a great game, but I don't really think you'd like it." And I can say the same thing to him. Like, "Nah, man, I love this game, but it is totally not a Tony game." And that's fine. That doesn't mean that the game is good or bad. It just means I understand the way that Tony thinks for the decent part after it. I'd like to think after all this time. I understand a lot of the way that everybody on the podcast, we've said it multiple times here before, we're all friends. And so we recommend shit. And generally it's based on taste unless it's Fate Zero. So so it's we try to understand the facet or the lens that other people see their objective truth by. And like that's the thing, is just because there might be a truth doesn't really fucking matter to the person who's sitting there who's only able to see it from one point of view. So again, like if it's a critical matter, if we're talking about like fucking human rights or some shit like that, like yes, do your best to rope the other person in and try and hone in on that objective truth. But if you're just talking about a fucking video game, leave it alone. And I'm a big advocate of that. Like, don't try and convince me that Fallout 76 is the worst piece of shit to ever grace the face of the earth. I'm fine love-hating it. I'm fine with that. I don't need you to come in and try and change my opinion, because here's the thing. Even if there's only one little facet that this game is good from, I'm sitting in the place where I'm seeing it from that place. Why would you want to alter my point of view?
Yeah.
If the game were objectively bad and I were seeing the only pinprick of light of goodness in it, like yes, you could make me correct, and then I had the choice of, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Don't prove me wrong.
I find that like people are also a little bit unwilling to believe that somebody will like something that's bad. I'm a firm believer in, like, if something is created, anything, that somebody somewhere is going to like it. It may not be everybody, but somebody, just because it even exists, it's going to be a small factor of people that will like that sort of thing. That's why I can't totally crucify anybody for liking something stupid, because I know I like things that are stupid. You know,
like lots of dumb shit. We all do.
You mean like Xenogears, Manny?
Being a nerd?
Yeah, I don't.
By the way, we need to get Riku in here because you guys could talk. He is suffering through that game. He does not like it.
At least there's two people on this fucking planet that thinks that game is a piece of trash.
By the way, I'm kind of purposely staying away from this topic because I'm not gonna say I'm. Brett, I know where you're coming from, but I'm kind of on the opposite end. I'm like, none of this shit fucking matters, so whatever. And I think that's why you and I kind of see things differently. But I definitely do agree there are objective things. Like, gravity is pretty fucking objective. That's not an opinion. The way, stars orbit and shit, that you can't change that. But like art, like that shit, that's all fucking. Here's the thing. Think about it like this. Say if we meet aliens, right? These motherfuckers experience life on a whole different thing. So, it doesn't, so they're seeing things from a different way. So it's subjective. So that's why I try not to get into those kind of debates. That's why I say it's your fucking opinion. Agree to disagree. I don't want to deal with that shit anymore. And the older I get, the less I want to argue with people. Now I'm like, if that's what you think, even if you come up to me and tell me 3 + 3 = 7, I'm like, sure, whatever. I don't care anymore. You know, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, in other words, yeah, you're not gonna go argue you're not gonna go arguing with a flat earther guy, no matter how silly that.
I could easily debunk that bullshit, but why the fuck should I waste my energy on that? It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, you know? I also think at the same time, it's like there are a lot of things that just
hold on, Brett. You'll get your turn, man. Go ahead, man.
I just think that there's also I understand where you're coming from. There's also a lot of things that just don't need that sort of time.
They don't
devoted to it, where it's like,
and I'm being honest right now. I've wasted so much fucking time with stupid Twitter beef for no fucking reason. You know, it's a waste of time arguing with people like that. So why bother? You know, that's where I'm coming at it from.
The one thing I always, whenever I get into those sorts of situations, I already know what my point of view is, and maybe that whoever doesn't agree with it, but I actually get more interested in the conversation and trying to find out why that other person thinks the way they do.
But here's the problem: a lot of people that you argue with, they come at you with bad faith. They don't care about what your point of view is. They just want to try to destroy you.
Yeah, they want to just blow you out of the water and prove that you're wrong and make a mockery of you.
You're conflagrating arguing with opinion, though. Like let me turn your example on its head. If an alien race came to Earth and they came down, they're like, yo, Tony, Street Fighter, that shit is dope. Not only would you be like, yeah, but you wouldn't part of your brain be like, dude, if aliens came from halfway across the solar system and they think Street Fighter is dope, like, that shit has to be fire. Like,
I don't know about that, but I was more like, here's a better example. Aliens come, we're like, hey, the sky's blue. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That shit is red, because that's how their eyes process the shit. That's what I'm saying. So it's not really.
No. If they disagree with you, I understand. But I'm saying, if somebody came and said, like, if aliens came down and they said, we've reviewed all of Earth's movies and your favorite movie is the best movie. Like, we as Martian, Mars thinks that your favorite movie is the best movie. Like, you part of you kind of be like, fuck, man. I mean, that kind of, like, even Martians like that movie. Like,
don't get me wrong.
Validated. That validation is the flip side of that kind of argumentative thing, and that's what I'm kind of. Does that make any sense?
No, you just used my. Okay, I'm gonna be saying that you use my trigger word. Validation. I don't look for validation in shit when it comes to that. Like, if you don't like what I like, I don't care, But I would, but going back to your example, I would use that to gloat. Oh, word, motherfuckers, you don't like Metal Gear Solid 3? They like it on Mars, motherfucker. Like, I would use that. But no, it's like, I don't need validation. I'm not weak like that,
Validation is it weakness?
I think it kind of is like you can't like your own shit on your own. You need somebody to validate it for you. It just seems kind of like, come on, man, like your own shit. You don't need people to tell you what the fuck you like, like your own shit. That's what I do. I don't care if, like, for example, everybody's always recommending stuff to me, right? You rarely see me recommend stuff because I don't care. If you like,
you only sort of recommend things to people that you know.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But like
you don't just go out there and be like, hey, you should play.
Yeah, but like if I'm watching a show, it's like if I'm watching a show, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I need people to watch this. I don't care. I'm enjoying it. That's all that matters.
No. That's not what I mean. I don't mean like you need people to share in your something before you enjoy it. But like, if you're saying the idea of having an idea of like, I would argue 100% against that. I would say people who don't validation are the weaker ones.
How does that work? It's like, yo, you can't like be strong enough to like your own shit. You need other people to validate it for you. You see where I'm coming from? Like, that's how I'm seeing it. Like your own shit. You don't need other people to validate it for you. If you like it, you like it. That's all that matters.
I also think that some people don't like to feel like they're alone when it comes to certain things.
Here's the thing. By the way, go ahead, Brett. Go ahead.
If your opinion can't stand up to criticism, then it doesn't hold any water. And if you're not willing to set your opinion up for criticism, meaning aka having it validated or not, then
I see what you're saying.
It's not worth holding water.
Yeah, okay, we're talking about different kinds of validation. I'm thinking like, yo, I bought a PS5, son. I need other people to buy shit for me so I don't feel stupid that I spent all this money. That's the kind of validation I'm coming from. You're talking about like, okay, here's my opinion, and you need other people to validate it so it stands up to scrutiny, I guess. I understand what you're.
Here's my opinion. Fight me.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that's totally different. I'm thinking about these motherfuckers like, yo, I spent $1,000 on this graphics card. I need some validation because I feel stupid right now.
Yeah. When you come at somebody, you're like, no, Superman or like Batman stronger than Superman. Fight me. And somebody argues with you, and then for like after like 20 minutes, and finally they're like, yeah, man, I guess you're right. Batman is stronger than Superman. You're like, boom, validated.
They'd be wrong, by the way.
Well, you know what I'm saying. We're not getting to the third argument right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he is.
You're opening that, bro. You're opening the rabbit hole. Batman v Superman was a good movie.
Man, I'll go over there and slap the shit out of you, man.
Let's
That
do
fucking
right
movie.
now.
Oh,
Look, dude, bro, Batman has contingency plans for everyone in the Justice League and argument.
Oh no, but
I
yeah.
heard on Mars that's the #1 movie. Though.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. Validation, Carlos. There you go.
It's validated, in my opinion.
We like the darkness of your Batman world.
It is great that they do not stick to canon.
What is this canon? We don't know. We cannot read your language.
We prefer Batman kills. Man, fuck Mars, man.
According to your
Bitch ass planet.
according to your human comics, Batman used to kill in the original first issues of the comic book.
Yo, Mars, if you so hot, why is your water frozen? What about that? Where's your atmosphere at, bro? Fuck out of here, man.
How else would you keep the Coca-Cola that we use on our planet cold?
Oh, you guys are throwing shade. Probably
Fuck Mars. Earth, son.
The Martians.
Earth for days. Yay.
We heard you talking smack on your planet.
We will destroy you.
This is why I hope if aliens come down, they don't come down to New York.
Yeah. Oh, forget about it, man. They'll fucking kill everybody.
They're just gonna, like, within
Yo,
5
you parked in the
minutes,
wrong
tag will be
parking
like,
spot.
"Look at my shiny pants. Ooh, Mr. Shiny Fancy Pants, come out of a round car."
Hey, you think that flying saucer's fancy? Look at my car over there.
Yeah, you can levitate, so what?
You're gonna start fucking seeing some fucking construction workers catcalling a female Martian. It's like,
Oh, then they're gonna get me too.
Oh shit!
I think we're gonna end the show now. Oh yeah, hold on, but we got a graphic. Oh god,
Graphics.
what is this shit? All right, so throw down your questions schedule. So if you want to ask us questions, how do you do this? All right, so step 1, you join our Discord. Step 2, on Discord, you go to throw down your question. And then step 3, you submit those motherfuckers and you limit them to 2. And remember, video game questions, please. The philosophy stuff was fun tonight, but come on, guys, video games.
You just keep it to video games, guys.
Although, we're professionals on this motherfucker. We still turn it. Every example we used was about video games. So, yeah, throw down, man, for life, son.
Except for Mars.
Mars. They made Doom's on Mars. There you go.
Okay, Doom's on Mars.
All right, so thank you for watching and listening. Leave us questions in the Throwdown Discord server, and we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and the Facebooks at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys, and don't forget to pick up Excellence. Excellence 3 is out right now, and I'm going to have a game coming out pretty soon in September called Contra Row Core, if you want to check it out.
Yay! Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
see you later, guys.
Brett Murdoch.
This show is brought to you by the Mars Bureau of Tourism.
Adam Vale.
Man, RoboCop 2, the arcade game, sucks ass. Fuck that
Ooh,
game.
shade.
A lot of shade. I'm on there Reddit, man. I'm just fucking telling motherfuckers they suck. You dumb bitches. Play your ass games. You too, Mega Morgo 413. Piece of shit.
Fuck that guy, man.
Wasting my time.
And Brian Manjoma.
All this talk of Mars reminds me of the bad Doom film.
Well, I thought it got
Not the
you.
Rock bad
Oh,
Doom film.
no.
The remake,
Yeah,
new
the
one.
bad-
No,
Oh,
not that
no,
one.
not the Rock
bad,
one.
bad one.
Yeah.
Brian, that's your opinion.
Fight me, Carlos.
I'll fight you in Burnout,
Fight
man.
me, Mr. Batman v Superman. Okay.
All right, let's one second, man. End the show, man. We're about to post out the gloves.
All right, man. We'll see you on Thursday, man. Peace out.
Later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.